What's up, guys, and welcome back to Rising Thrills, your number one source for Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Maryland roller coaster content. And in this video, I'll be reviewing Storm Runner at Hersheypark in Hershey, Pennsylvania. In 2004, Hersheypark in Hershey, Pennsylvania opened Storm Runner, which is an intimate accelerator coaster. Storm Runner has a length of 2,600 feet, a top height of 150 feet, a drop of 180 feet, and a top speed of 70 miles per hour. Storm Runner had a cost of $12.5 million and an hourly capacity of 1,200 riders per hour. Storm Runner has 2 trains with 5 cars per train. Riders are oriented 2 across with 2 rows per car. Storm Runner has 5 cars per train, which means 20 riders per train. The way that Storm Runner is unique is it has a dual loading station. So when you come into the queue, once you get towards the end of the queue, you go up a staircase and then you come up to a ramp above the station. You come down and you decide if you want to go to the right or go to the left. There are a train on either side. Instead of having 2 trains on the layout at once, they have 2 loading stations. Once you have boarded the trains, which hold 20 riders, then you are pulled into the launch section of the ride. Once you get into the launch section of the ride, there is a little countdown that says, "Now get ready, here we go." I'll play it for you here. Once you go through the launch section, then you go up a top hat. After you go down the top hat, then you go through a Cobra loop. After you go through the Cobra loop, then you go through a flying snake dive. After you go through the flying snake dive, then you come down and you have a little section that you bank up to the left as you go under the monorail track. After you do that, then you pop up into the brake run, and then you go through another little small brake run, and then you come into the station. So the ride isn't really that long, but really it is longer than other intimate accelerator coasters. So this is an intimate accelerator coaster, a hydraulic launched coaster. So it's definitely a unique coaster. I believe there's only a few of these. I think there's one at Alton Towers. I know there's the one at the park in Iowa, that new park that opened a few years ago. And I know, of course, there's Accelerator and then Ka at Great Adventure. But there's really not a ton of these out there. So it's a rare coaster model. But it's a good ride, of course. It is a fairly short ride, but compared to the other accelerator coasters, it's a fairly long layout. And I'd say it makes the best out of the layout the length that it has and the amount of elements that it has. Of course, that launch, it's, fairly quick. And honestly, I think the launch is almost as good as Ka's launch. I'd really say that. It's not quite as good, of course, but compared to it, for the speed and the size of the ride, it's pretty good. The acceleration, pretty good. It's pretty fast. But overall, it's a fun coaster. It's one of my favorite coasters. But it's a lot of people love it. I know, and some people even like it more than Sky Rush. I don't know if I like it more than Sky Rush, but I definitely enjoy it. It is definitely one of those rides that you're just yeah, I want to get back on that. It can get some long lines, not as long as Fahrenheit, but sometimes it can get, which is to be expected. It's expected for this to get long lines, but it's because it's a big ride. You'd expect it to get big lines, but overall it doesn't get terrible lines. And the queue, it's fairly well shaded, and honestly, I haven't really waited for it that long many times. Usually it has a short line, but overall it is a fun coaster. And that Hersheypark definitely needs another launch coaster, because this is pretty intense. They need one for the smaller people. I talked about that video, one of my first videos actually, predicting Hersheypark's next coaster. But overall, this ride is a fun ride, and I definitely enjoy it. It's one of my personal favorite launch coasters. I've only been on a few launch coasters, but it's definitely a fun coaster, and I definitely enjoy it a lot. So for my final score for Storm Runner at Hersheypark in Hershey, Pennsylvania, I'll be giving it a 9 out of 10 because it's a good ride, but it's not quite perfect. There's definitely some things that this ride could do, but you really can't do many things without making it bigger. So honestly, in my opinion, for the size of the ride and for the cost, you can't really do much. But I definitely, like I said, it definitely, for the size and the cost, this ride does a lot, and I definitely enjoy this ride. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. For my final score for Storm Runner at Hersheypark, I'll be giving it a 9 out of 10. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope to see you tomorrow. Goodbye.